إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. All praise is due to Allah. We praise Him and we ask for His assistance and we seek for His forgiveness. We seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the evils of ourselves and the evil consequences of our actions. Whomsoever Allah guides, none can lead astray. And whomsoever Allah leaves to go astray, none can guide. I bear witness that none has the right to be worshipped. None has the right to our ultimate love and devotion except Allah, He who has no partners. And I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is His servant and messenger. Indeed, the best speech is that of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the best guidance and way of life is that of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And the worst of the things are the newly invented matters in religion. And all the newly invented matters are innovations. And all innovations are misguidance. And every misguidance leads people to hellfire. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from the hellfire. So, welcome all to this mentorship program. And inshallah today we have with us the mentorship team who will take us through the program, inshallah. On my right, I have Mr. Wamy, who is the head of guidance and counseling. On my left, I have Madam Lynette Manyengo. She's our senior teacher, and I am Mr. Abdul Qadir Hassan. I'm the head of Tarbiyah department. So I'll ask Madam Lynette Manyengo to start us off, inshallah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hassan, my colleague. We're here to start off the third term learning on e-learning, and it is good that we remind ourselves the importance of e-learning, especially for our boys to be able to understand so that they embrace it. Welcome yet to another learning session. It is September and the Wamy High School family is ready to hit the road running the academic race at a high speed. We have had challenges, but we must know how to navigate around the challenges that have been caused by the pandemic. Yes, we all have been grounded by the coronavirus pandemic, but unfortunately, this will never be a reason which will be accepted by the world for non-performance. So we must know how to navigate around it and move on with our academic life. Remember, many other students around the globe are already in school and have resumed learning. They are your peers whom you are competing with for the opportunities we have of higher learning and eventually the job market. Therefore, you cannot afford to be left behind. Let us all resume, return to learning, return to school with a bang and keep the academic fire burning. We have to maintain ourselves, and that's why we have this e-learning platform that is gonna help you maintain an academic mood, stamina, and rhythm. This program will help you to maintain the academic mood, stamina, and rhythm until when we fully return to school in January, inshallah. A student who will not join this program will be left behind many kilometers academically come January, because he will have forgotten so much content, and such a student will definitely be disadvantaged. We have to be on the e-learning platform for purposes of exposure to content. We all know exposure to content is key, because that content is eventually what we shall be evaluated in. During this program, a variety of content will be handled by the teachers as they handle both revision and continuation of the syllabus. You will be exposed to vital material which you will need for your academic excellence. This is because this learning will enable you to be ahead of many other students who do not have this privilege which you have. So please, students, take advantage of this opportunity and it will give you an edge over your peers academically. E-learning is a new way of learning. We cannot run away from it. Through the e-learning, it will improve your academic standing or academic position. As a student, you know where you are academically now. So through this program, it will sharpen you and make you a stronger and better student, in that it will improve your grades. If you are at a B now, you will move to an A because of the continuous learning that you are being exposed to through the e-learning platform. Those at a grade C will move up to B, and those at a grade D will move up to grade C plus and above. This good performance will cut across all the classes, hence lifting up the overall performance in our school. This will be achieved by the repetition of content, which will enable you students to have very good mastery of content. This can only be achieved through the e-learning platform because it will close the gap. Finally, the e-learning program, which we are set to begin, will help you refrain from negative activities. As young people, you are exposed to so much, both negative and positive. The negative is likely to swallow you up. But through this program, you will constantly be reminded that you are a student, and therefore it will help you to refrain from activities that are likely to affect you in your academics. These activities are not new to you. Some of them you know. I'll just mention but a few. A few will include bad company, idleness, drug and substance abuse, peer pressure, etc. This program, SANS, is very good for you, students, and the entire Wamy High School family, because it will help us to raise our academic level higher. So let us all embrace it. Once again, welcome back to school through the e-learning program, and let us all enjoy third term syllabus coverage and revision all combined. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Senior Teacher. And I'd also like to present something on e-learning, and this will focus on the etiquettes, the adab of online learning. As we all know, our religion emphasizes much on etiquettes, on akhlaq, on adab, on moral character. The Prophet ﷺ says, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. I was sent to complete good manners. And for this reason, even as we engage in our classes through remote learning or distance learning, some of the guidance of the etiquettes I'd like to talk about, inshallah, because many students are moving to online learning who may never before have attended an online meeting, especially for the purpose of receiving instruction or carrying on an academic discussion with others. Because of this, we're providing this etiquette guide to help students know how to conduct themselves appropriately in an online class. Well, many of these guidelines may seem obvious, a new medium of communication can tend to throw off some of our instincts for proper etiquette. So we thought it would be helpful to provide a baseline of expectations from which teachers can draw as they work to develop an ideal online atmosphere for learning. So number one, etiquette is be on time. The importance of punctuality cannot be overemphasized in Islam. You look at the pillars of Islam, all of them are grounded on punctuality. Salah, Saum, Zakah, Hajj, all of them have exact timings that cannot be surpassed. Punctuality is especially important for online meetings because we are working in the absence of normal checks to ensure that everyone can be gathered to start classes on time. When the teacher and students are in the same room together, the teacher can call everyone to attention or beckon someone in from the drinking fountain easily. This is not the case with online meetings. So students will need to be extra responsible to schedule their day effectively. Some helpful tips for being on time include using a calendar application of some kind and scheduling reminders 15 minutes ahead of time, or some other increment of time that will best help you. Find a system that works for you, that enables you to join the meeting the minute it begins, so you don't miss out in those crucial first minutes of instruction. Number two, wear proper attire. Learning from the comfort of your home can make it feel desirable to dress down, but we want to make sure we are looking presentable and professional for each other, just like we do at school. While students may not be required to wear the uniform they did to school to online meetings, but it is our expectation that students dress in a way that is modest, clean, and avoids any unnecessary distractions. Unless you are ill, you will be expected to share your screen-through video in order to engage in discussion. So please dress well. Sleepwear and anything that could be perceived as immodest should be avoided. If you have any questions about proper clothing, have a conversation with your parents. It's always better to be overdressed. Number three, choose a good location. As parents and students plan for online lessons, it will be important to think through an ideal location. The most important thing is to have a clean and non-distracting background. If a student must work in their bedroom, make sure the bed or decorations are not prominent in the background. If possible, set up a desk with materials ready in neutral background. Another factor is the possibility of background noise. If siblings are at all likely to be loud in the room, try to isolate yourself. If your parents have a headset that you can borrow, this will make your situation much more flexible. As much as possible, try to make sure nothing from your location becomes a distraction to others in the class. Number four, mute yourself out. If you experience unavoidable background noise, mute yourself. If for reasons beyond your control, noise becomes a problem in what you thought was a quiet space, please, you can click the icon on the bottom left that will mute your audio. Try to do this sooner rather than later, and either ask family members to move or else move yourself. If it's impossible to find a quiet place in your current family scenario, it's still important for you to attend the class. Just mute yourself for the whole time except when called on, and let your teacher know by private chat message what the situation is. Another point is be ready to take notes. While teachers may have different instructions in different subjects and scenarios, online meetings aim to condense the time that everyone is present together. So in many cases, it will be beneficial for you to be able to jot down a note on the instructions the teacher is giving or important information he or she is sharing with you. Well, you can always ask later through the portal or another means of communication, or check the recording of the video. This can be time consuming. It will often be helpful to be on the lookout during the meeting for what you need to know to complete the next assignment well. Number six, give your full focused attention. It goes without saying that giving your focused attention is one of the best things you can do to learn efficiently. However, when an online meeting, it may be tempting to use another device or engage with someone or something else in your surroundings rather than the meeting that you are a participant in. Giving eye contact to the screen is a good way to show your instructor that you are attending, unless of course you are taking notes. Side conversations with other students via another means of communications are definitely off limits. Show respect to the important learning process that you're engaged in during the Zoom meeting, just as you would if you were present in person with your whole class. Number 7, participate fully. Participating fully may look different depending on what your teacher is expecting of you at any particular moment. At times, your teacher will be leading the class in a discussion, and this is when it is most important to speak up and share your thoughts. Of course, if your teacher is simply sharing instructions with you, then participating fully means paying close attention to be sure you understand, writing anything down you don't want to forget, and being ready to ask any questions that you have about confusing parts when the teacher is done. The fact is that the nature of an online format may increase the tendency of some students to sit back and observe. When there is a glowing screen in front of us, we can default to passive spectator mode. Even if it's just taking notes, make the most of each online meeting by becoming as active a learner as you can be. And the next is do not dominate the discussion. For some students, the reticence of others and their natural talkativeness may lead them to participate too much. In this case, this student should adopt some strategy to make sure they're giving others a chance to discuss, who may need more of a pause in between comments. It's okay for there to be a little bit of silence in an online class. You don't have to fill every void with a comment or a thought just because it comes to you. Number 9, do ask questions. Connected to these thoughts on participation is the importance of asking questions during an online meeting. Your teachers are there to support and help you, and it makes it easier on everyone. If you can ask a question while together in an online meeting, if you're experiencing some confusion or have a question about something, it's likely that someone else has that same question, so just speak up. Your teachers will be adjusting to the new medium of communication just like you, and it may be that they jump over crucial details as they're focusing on so many new dynamics. It will only help the process of transition if you ask the questions that are occurring to you along the way. Of course, if a teacher is in the middle of an explanation or a thought, then you may want to jot the question down as a reminder to yourself or type it into the chat box for the teacher to see. It's always possible the teacher is about to address your question. So we don't want to go to the extreme of constant interruptions, but in general, view an online meeting as the prime time to ask questions that the whole class will benefit from. Next is be more careful with your words. So much of our communication is built on presence with a person, including our truly incredible ability to read facial expressions and other non-verbals. We can't always articulate what we are reading in another person's countenance, but it informs the tone and temperature of our interactions with others in ways we don't even realize. When moving communication to a new medium, we need to begin by being more careful than we would otherwise feel the need to be. Classmates and teachers may have developed ways of joking or interacting with one another that rely on a base of trust and non-verbals. Taking that full-body gamut away may mean that comments that would have been considered funny before are now offensive. Starting to online meetings with a mindset of cautious learning, we're going to have to relearn some of our social interactions to avoid any misunderstandings and hurt feelings. Review your notes and the recording. Review your notes and the recordings later. Now this is another point. The teachers do share notes and recordings of video lessons, so in any case a student misses the live meeting because of sickness or other circumstances, he should be able to review the notes and recordings at his own convenience. Remember also that because an online learning meeting condenses down instructions time and live interactions with the teacher, it may be helpful to students to use their notes and the recordings for extra review of concepts that might have been difficult. Challenging math, science, or humanities ideas may not make sense on the first time through, but reviewing the recording again the next day might suddenly clarify all your questions. Sometimes our brain needs time to begin wiring in new neural works, and A night's sleep can do wonders to solidify all the basic steps and make the trickiest parts easier to understand. Check your student portal regularly. This is our next point. Check your student portal regularly. There are a few reasons that checking your portal regularly will be important. First, your teachers will be posting assignments, instructions, and links to live classes. While they will try to keep the schedule they have announced, it is always possible that a teacher could experience a disruption of some kind that requires them to reschedule. Checking your portal ensures that you will receive these notices in a timely manner and be able to adjust your schedule for the day. It is also possible that a teacher will have to clarify something that was misunderstood, or rather said incorrectly in an online meeting through the portal afterwards. If you go merrily on your way with the assignment without checking your portal, you may encounter difficulties that could have been avoided. Number 14, joining classes with official names and admission numbers. Students are required to join the live classes using their names and admission numbers or registration numbers. This will assist or show the instructor, the teacher, every admission number of everyone who signed up to join the class and can help the teacher evaluate who is attending. And finally, apologize for any accidental breach of etiquette. As human beings, we all make mistakes. The Prophet says, كل ابن آدم خطاء وخير الخطائين التوابين. All human beings are prone to make error or to make mistakes, and the best of those who make mistakes are the ones who repent. And mistakes are even more likely when a new set of experiences and challenges interrupt our normal routine. Online learning is going to involve that sort of interruption, and no one is expected to be perfect. However, if you do break one of these etiquette guidelines, whether it's not being on time, loud background noise dominating the discussion, or not being prepared, come right out and apologize sooner rather than later. Apologizing shows respect to your classmates and your teacher and indicates that you are aware of the problems and not oblivious. If you don't acknowledge it, your teacher may have to come to you to make sure it doesn't happen again. Make that step unnecessary by calling out to yourself. And to conclude, with these guidelines in our minds, students will be well prepared to continue learning, as well as possible through online means. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us honor Him with our minds and our actions as we engage in Islamic and secular, classical, joyful discovery education in a different way this pandemic period. Thank you very much. So I'll welcome Brother Wamy, inshallah, to take us through our presentation, inshallah. Welcome.
Thank you, colleagues. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It was in March when we separated with you students and the entire teaching fraternity. We all hoped it will be for a few days, then we resume back to school, which now has turned into weeks and months of waiting. We thank Allah for this far, and nothing takes Him by surprise. We all know it shall be well. We all thought it was to be around June when we go back to school. It then changed to September, and now it's likely to be in January or earlier. Now, whatever time it will be, we want to be ready, just as soldiers are ready for war in season and out of season. We cannot afford to lose our focus, which we have taken effort and time to establish. We must be on toes and even be better than where we were before the pandemic. We can't accept to lose anything or a part of our future just because of the COVID. It shall be over soon, we trust. We shall be victors, not losers, because of all that we have invested in this learning. January or thereabout is not far. Kwa ukweli, mbali ndiko tumetoka. The very least we can do is to maintain status quo, but with the team of able and willing instructors that we have, the supportive parents, and the ambitious students you add, we are soldiering on well, and when schools reopen, we are sure to have an upper hand. Thus, do revision for our candidates of this year, the Form 4s, to pass their exams with a lot of ease. And the rest of the school will cover our syllabus stress-free. We are all together to win this. Welcome to our new third session online, which has been reloaded with a lot of features and with a lot of psych. See you then, inshallah, to shine together as Wamy family, because we lead from the front and we are that unique. Don't miss out on this. Shukran, and may Allah protect you all.
Thank you very much, Brother Mutiani. Thank you. And as we are having the continuity of our education, I'd like to urge students not to neglect the other aspects of religious obligations. We are having a period that is not normal. As much as we could, let us focus on our religious activities, even if it is at home. The mosques are now open. Let us ensure that we establish our prayers regularly and on time. Another important point is the recitation of the Quran. It should not stop with the school. At home, let's continue with the recitations of the Quran. Every morning after prayer, Inna Quran al-Fajr kana mashhuda. Recite the Quran in the morning and you'll find your mind clear, accomplished, and the doors will be open, which were otherwise closed, and inshallah, you will succeed. So let's ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us through this pandemic and enable us to meet again, inshallah. Allahumma inna nas'aluka ziyadatan fil ilm wa ziyadatan fil Qur'an wa tawbatan qabla al-mawt wa rahatan ba'da al-mawt. Allahumma inna na'udhu bika min al-judal wal-baras wal-junun wa min sayyi al-asqam. بفضل سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.